Hello, everybody. I am Ann Robinson. Welcome to my channel where it is awesome to be Ann, and it is awesome to be you. Yes, it is that time again. It is Sunday, and what day is it today? I'm believing it is September the 27th, and I'm coming at you what? Because it is time to what? Elevate our minds, because what? Mental elevation is required. Yes, it is. And I already have the word of the day, the word for this week, and the word what for a lifetime, because it's not about just changing for today. It's about changing for today. It's about changing for what? A lifetime. Let's make this a habit. We are what? Character building. Yes, we are. The word that I have for today is a suffering. 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 All right, suffering. Sounds kind of heavy, doesn't it? Oh, let's see what it says. The cause of all suffering is craving. Craving, Craving. Desire things that you do not have, and suffering will follow. Realize this, and peace will be yours. Suffering will disappear, and contentment will reign. Let's start over. The cause of all suffering is craving. Desire things that you do not have, and suffering will follow. Realize this, and peace will be yours. Suffering will disappear, and contentment will reign. Okay, this seems to be a hard one, but I don't know. Right now, what I'm hearing and in my mind is that a lot of times we suffer because of the things that we crave. That we're never satisfied, and we're never because we're never satisfied. We're always seeking more and more and more and more, which is what the beginning of suffering. We're never content. We need to be content with the things for which we have, you know. But lots of times we're not. So we keep seeking. And what will we do? We'll do anything to get it by any means necessary. We will get what we want. And what does it end up being? For some of us, we may not have the money to may not have the means or enough means to get that new car that we crave, that we desire. And what we'll go out there and we'll get it anyway. We already know that we don't have enough means to get that new car. But we got to get the new car. We got to get that one, because what are we trying to do? Lots of times we're trying to keep up with the Joneses. We're trying to top what the Joneses have. I can't get this type of car because it's not going to make me look good. So let me get this car because I'm going to look good driving it. And, we look at people lots of times, even the Joneses. Let's say we do have our eye on the Joneses. Well, that's a waste of time, because you don't know what the Joneses went through to get what they got. Yeah, they may be living in a big house. They may be driving the fancy cars. They may be wearing all of the designer clothes. They may be seem to have that American dream, as so to speak, but you don't know what they're going through in order to get that. You don't know what wear and tear that husband is having to go through at his job. He might have to be at his job 80 hours a week in order to maintain what he and his family has. You don't know what everybody's situation is, and his marriage could be suffering because of that, because he's never home. He's to spend time with that wife and those children. Or it could be that maybe they can't really afford what they have, and you just never know. They might be robbing Peter to pay Paul every month, suffering, trying to find ways to meet their bills every month, trying to maintain their way of living. You can't look at someone else's situation and know and think, oh my, one day I want to have what they have, or I'm trying to get what they have, or I'm going to do whatever it takes to get where they are, and you don't even know how they got there. You don't know what kind of suffering they're going through. They could be suffering financially because of the choices that they made. They could have marital suffering because that husband's never home to spend time with that wife and those children. On the outside, everything, we look at people, we be looking at people, other people's lives, and we're always thinking that the grass is greener on the other side, when to be honest, we don't even know. If we could be a fly on the wall, so to speak, we would be able to see that everything that glitters is definitely not golden. So lots of times we create our own suffering. That's what happens. Lots of times we create our own suffering. Um, we need to learn to be satisfied with the things for which we have. And sometimes it may even be that you can get that new car, but sometimes it requires you to wait. Sometimes it requires you to wait till your situation, your financial situation changes, and then you can go out and get that car. But until then, you need to keep paying your bills, keep maintaining your life, and then when the time is right for you, you can go out there if it's not going to cause any suffering, financial suffering, emotional suffering, worry, which can lead to health issues. There you'll have your health will suffer because you're stressed out. You're fearful every month about how am I going to keep the lights on, how I'm going to keep food on the table. I got to pay this bill. How I'm going to keep pay my car payment so that the man doesn't come and get it. There's always things that are created when we desire to have bigger than what we need at the time. Not saying that it will never get there, but right now, try to live within your means. Try to live within your budget. Don't look at him over there. Just keep your eyes right here on who you and be content with the things for which you have right now. And when the time is right and you're able to handle it financially, then you can go seek to get some of those other items that you may desire. And sometimes maybe you don't need the new car. Maybe you can find a used car that will work just as good and be within your financial means. But the basis is that just be content with the things which you have. Don't rush out there to once again obtain a bunch of stuff, and then in the end result is going to be that you're going to be suffering financially. Your marriage is going to suffer. Your health is going to suffer from worry and strain, from being financially weighted down, burdened, so to speak. So yeah, that is what comes to mind for me. I don't know what other examples I could give you, but that seems to be the best one that we could eliminate suffering. I will read this again to just show you how that example works really good. It says the cause of all suffering is craving, wanting more, desiring this, desiring that, desiring things that you do not have, but I want it. You want it. You know what I mean? It says, and your suffering will follow. Realizing this, you will find peace because you won't be desiring things that you should not be desiring. You'll keep your desires in check. That's what I mean. Yeah. Suffering will disappear and contentment will reign. Yeah, keep your desires in check. Okay, that's what you need to do. Don't always look to keep obtaining this and that, especially if you know that you can't afford it right now. That's all it means. Watch what you're spent. Watch what you're desiring. Watch what you're spending your money on. It's no hurry. It's no rush. I know a lot of people. I know, like when you have kids and they want to move out and they want to have a fully furnished home, so to speak, and they're looking at what their parents have, but it took their parents a couple of, a while to get and obtain all that stuff. They didn't just get all that stuff all at one time. It didn't just poof and there it was. No, it didn't. It took some time. And I'm just saying, take your time. Okay. All right. Well, that you don't have to rush and have everything all at one time. You can take your time and get stuff. All right. All right, everybody. I think that will do it. I hope that this has been helpful to someone to eliminate what suffering, to eliminate suffering from your life. Some of it you create. We can have contentment. We can have peace and no suffering if we keep our desires in check. All right. All right. Yeah, I think that's gonna do it. Yes, it is. All right, and desires don't always have to be financial, people. I just want to let you know that too. You could be it could be anything. It could be a desire to once again get married. I just want to bring that in there, that it doesn't have to be financial. It could be a desire to get married, and you know that the person that you're desiring to marry is really not the one for you, but yet and still I'm lonely. This is what I want, and I'm going to go ahead and do it. That's going to create suffering. There's nothing worse than marrying the wrong individual, people. You can be married and be lonely. Believe me, you can. So, yeah, just keep your desires in check. I just wanted to mention that because a desire doesn't have to be just for stuff. It could be to get married, and it's not your time. You're rushing it, you're pushing it, so yeah, I just wanted to say a desire could be anything that's not going to be proper, for you at that time. There's a lot of people out there desiring what other people have, coveting someone else's husbands, coveting somebody else's wife, and sometimes people will go after a person's husband or wife, and that's a desire. And that's wrong. That's going to do nothing but cause you some suffering and their family suffering. So we have to keep our desires in check. And also, it just means simply, you know, following something higher than ourselves. Sometimes we have to look to God to help us to keep those desires in check, right? So keep your desires in check, people. And if you're having struggles with, financial, keeping yourself grounded, and just feeling sort of like you're not enough without having stuff. You're not enough without being married. You're not enough with just being who you are. You're always seeking to get more and seeking this person or that person out to help you be who you think you need to be. Maybe it's even desiring the wrong friendships, hanging out with the wrong people. I don't know, it could be anything. And I just want everybody to know that um keep a check on your desires. You know, keep a check on your desires. That's all I'm going to say. I just kind of wanted to lead and guide it in that direction, because somebody out there may think, oh, well, I'm pretty good on my financial side, but you're dibbling and dabbling, hanging out with desiring wrong friendships, desiring someone else's wife or husband, and you shouldn't be. Thou shall not commit adultery. That would be that. Thou shall not covet what your neighbor has. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the 10 Commandments. Thou shall not covet, what your neighbor has, your neighbor's wife, your neighbor's stuff, any of that. So no, we don't want to try to keep up with the Joneses in any way. We don't want to think that the grass is green on the other side when we have our own green pasture. If you already have a wife or a husband, be happy with the husband or wife that you have. That's who you're supposed to have. All right? Don't desire someone else. Desire what you have. Love the wife or husband you have. All right? Well, that's all I'm going to say, because then it's going to get too deep, but y'all know what I mean. Let's keep ourselves in check. Let's keep ourselves in line with what God's word, because God's word tells us that we are to be content with such things as we have. We should be seeking godliness where you will find great contentment. Yes, Absolutely. So keep your desires in check, people. Keep yourselves looking to God and for His assistance and help in every area of your life, from your finances to your relationships, to your friendships, all of that. That's right. All right. Well, everybody, thank you so much for watching. I hope that something I said was helpful in some type of way. And I will see you where in my next video. Peace and blessings. What? Until next time.